Chasing Neptune, illuminated current. There is a planet at the edge of our solar system that does not blaze like the sun or cut through the sky like Mars. Neptune drifts. It dissolves. It pulls the tides of the unconscious in long, slow spirals. And if you have ever felt the sorrow of a stranger as though it were your own, or wept at a piece of music without knowing why, you already know what it means to live beneath its influence. This is not a weakness. This is a current. And learning to ride it rather than drown in it is the sacred work we begin today. Neptune dissolves the boundary between what is yours and what belongs to the world. The personal becomes universal. A single tear expands into the ocean of all human longing. You feel the grief of generations. You carry the ache of people you have never met. At first, this feels like a burden too heavy to name. But here is the truth Neptune is always whispering. You were not given this sensitivity to suffer it alone. You were given it to transform it. The danger comes when there is no container. When the emotion has nowhere to go, it floods. It pulls you under. You lose the thread of your own identity in the tide of collective pain. Without a vessel, the gift becomes a wound. This is the first teaching of the illuminated current. Before you can channel the infinite, you must build something finite to hold it. Every artist who has ever sat before a blank canvas in the early hours, every poet who has pressed pen to paper in the middle of grief, every musician who has reached for an instrument in the hollow of midnight, they understood something essential. The artistic medium is not merely a craft, it is an anchor. Paint holds color the way a ritual holds intention. Clay holds shape the way the body holds memory. Sound holds frequency the way prayer holds longing. When you choose your medium, you're not choosing a hobby. You are choosing the form through which the formless will speak. Some are called to words, others to movement, to fiber, to glass, to song. The medium matters less than the commitment, the willingness to say, I will give this feeling a body. I will let it be seen. And when you sit in that sacred space, something extraordinary happens. The act of creation becomes a boundary, not a wall that shuts the world out, but a membrane, permeable enough to feel, strong enough to protect. The sensitive soul does not need to become less sensitive. It needs a container worthy of its depth. Now we come to the great work, transmutation. The alchemists of old believed that lead could be turned to gold, not through force, but through process, through patience, through heat applied in precisely the right measure. Grief is lead, it is heavy, it is dull, it resists the light. But grief is also dense with mineral truth. It holds everything that mattered, everything that was real. To transmute it, you do not discard it. You enter it. You sit with the weight of it until your hands begin to move, until the color that wants to be chosen makes itself known, until the word that has been waiting in the body finally rises to the lips. Intuition is the compass here, not logic, not technique. Intuition knows which shade of blue carries the particular grief of this particular morning. It knows whether the poem wants to rhyme or fracture. Trust it. The intelligence of the heart moves faster than the mind can follow. And then something remarkable. The finished work exists. It is no longer inside you, formless and unnamed. It has become a thing in the world, a painting, a song, a poem carved into the air. And this finished work does not belong only to you. It becomes a sanctuary. Others will find themselves in it. They will sit before it and feel recognized, held, less alone in their own ocean of feeling. Your healing becomes the container for theirs. The wound, transmuted, becomes a window. This is the alchemy. This is why it matters. But alchemy cannot be performed only once. The current must be sustained. And sustaining it requires daily practice, small, intentional acts of grounding that keep you rooted in the earth while remaining open to the sky. Begin each morning by returning to your body. 5 breaths. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Notice the quality of the light. This is not a luxury. It is maintenance for the instrument you are. Keep a dream journal. Neptune speaks most clearly in the language of dream and symbol. Do not let those transmissions dissolve with the daylight. Create something every day, even if it is small. A single line of poetry, a sketch on a napkin, 3 notes hummed into the morning air. The practice is not about the product. It is about keeping the channel open. And share your work. Not because you need validation, but because the healing completes itself in the sharing. What moves through you is meant to move outward. The individual healing offered freely becomes cultural medicine. It becomes part of the collective immune system. Over time, you will notice that your sensitivity no longer feels like a liability. It feels like a calling. You will find yourself able to hold space for others, not because you have hardened, but because you have learned the shape of your own vessel. This is the long work. This is the sacred work. You came into this life feeling everything. That was not a mistake. In a world that has forgotten how to grieve, forgotten how to wonder, forgotten how to let beauty break it open, your sensitivity is not a symptom. It is a solution. Honor it, train it, pour it into form. Let it become music, paint, story, prayer. Let it become the thing that someone else needed to find. You are not a victim of feeling. You are a conduit of the divine. And the current that runs through you, the one Neptune has been guiding all along, is one of the most powerful forces available for planetary restoration. The ocean does not apologize for its depth. Neither should you. Chase the current, illuminate the dark. The world is waiting for what only you can feel.